Are you one of these people that have totally just given up on love? Just totally given up? Either you think you're too old, or there's no good men, no good women, or you just don't have the desire. It just seems like it's too much effort. It's just that it's just difficult to even imagine being in a relationship anymore. Or maybe you are in a relationship and like me, spent many, many, many Friday nights alone, and I was in a relationship, and I'll get to that in a little minute. In a minute. So, so if you're one of those people, or you know somebody that's experiencing that, you got to stay here because I have a terrific show for you tonight. We're going to talk all about love, and we're going to talk about hope, and we're going to talk about anything's possible. And yeah, so you're watching the Hangout with Penny show every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern. And this is a show to inspire and uplift and empower, to drink and to be able to live your best life. And I know it's possible, and that's why I'm doing these shows, so I can inspire you to just think, yeah, it is possible. And when that little inkling of something good comes, I want you to say, show me more. I want you to just put your arms up to the universe and say, show me more of this, and more will show up. That's so true. Anyway, right now, though, first thing I like to do is show you what wine I got for you this week. This one's really good. We're talking about love. Look at this. Kisses, hugs, XOXO. I get so many people ask me, where do you get your wine for your shows? It's the most fun I have all week. I go into the liquor store and I start looking around, and if I can't find anything, I'll go and I'll say, I'm talking about love tonight, so I need a wine that'll match that. And look what I got, hugs and kisses. So I have a special cheers tonight for all you that are watching. Thank you very much. You're making Hangout with Penny a habit weekly, and I'm just thrilled that you're doing that, to spend your Friday nights with me and my guests. But tonight I have a special cheers. Tonight is my mom's 89th birthday. Yes. And this woman is wise beyond, she's always been wise beyond her years. And when I took the time to just like listen, she's taught me so much. So cheers, Mom.
Cheers.
Happy birthday.
So on tonight's show, we're going to talk about love is possible at any age. It is about, in my opinion, if you want to find true love, you need to find true love within yourself first. And the law of attraction plays a huge part. I'm a law of attraction coach and trainer. I'm also a wellness coach, and learning to be healthy body, mind, and spirit is very important, because anybody can get in a relationship, but we want a meaningful relationship. We want something that's going to nurture us, something that's going to be in alignment to what we want, because so many times I know in my relationship, in my marriage, I had to stifle myself. I was afraid to speak the way I wanted, what I wanted. I was living in an unhappy marriage. So before I bring on my guests, I just want to tell you a definition. There's different definitions out there about the law of attraction. My mentor and my trainer, Michael Loge, his definition is so clear, and it is, I attract to my life whatever I give my attention to, whether positive or negative, right? So you think, well, you got to be careful on how you think about it, because I was married just about 20 years, and I didn't know this back then. I didn't know that my thoughts were creating the reality in my life. And so when Friday night, this is what I said earlier, I spent many, many, many Friday nights alone, and I was married, because I would think, as we're gearing up to Friday, that Friday night my husband was going to be out drinking with the boys. Every Friday night, or mostly every Friday night, that would happen. I'd say, see, I told you, I knew it. I was just getting exactly what I was vibrating. I was thinking that, and I was getting it. The law of attraction is only going to match and give you the results to what it is that you're thinking and you're putting out there, because it's like we have this frequency that goes out, and I was getting totally matched, exactly what I was thinking. And I thought, oh my goodness, I wonder how many Friday night candlelight dinners I could have had if I had thought that. So, so we want to help you clear up your vibration around relationships and around attracting relationships, because we want you to have a wonderful life with or without a partner. And I have a beautiful panel with me right now. So, Michelle, would you like to come out and say hi and tell everybody who you are? And yeah, so I welcome Michelle.
Hi, everybody. I'm Michelle Ponsa. I'm from South Coast area of Massachusetts, which you probably can tell from my accent. I'm not from Canada. So I do a number of things. My main passion is helping people get clear about what they want and working on a plan to get it. And through my business, Business Global, we build social networks of online buyers and link them up to websites that will reward them and help them get what they want out of life. So happy to be here. I'm excited to hear Dana's story and his to Penny's mom. Happy birthday.
Cheers again, Mom. Yeah, thanks. Thanks, Michelle. And we're going to hear from you later, because I know you have, everybody has, can relate, I think, to what you're going to talk about after. So Dana, oh my goodness. First of all, Dana, though, when you come out, because you have expanded your world since you really became deliberate, and that's the law of attraction is all about becoming, when you get it, when you can make that shift and become deliberate, your whole life changes. And Dana, I have living proof for everybody right now. So Dana, when you come out, I'd like you to introduce yourself. But if you would, I was just on Dana's Hangout show on Wednesday, and she empowers women in business, and she has this program. So I just want you to quickly, Dana, if you can, just explain what you're doing, and then we'll get into the show right after that.
Great, love to. Okay. So I know that you were talking about a lot about love, and what I want is for women to love their business. So I have a 5-part Hangout show that's coming out, a Google Hangout show. It's Business Abundance Series for Women in Business, and the URL is empoweredwomeninbusiness.com/business abundance. And what I love about this program is working with entrepreneurs who are maybe struggling with their business. They're not attracting their ideal client, because there's a process where we attract our ideal relationship, which I'll be talking about, but also attracting our ideal client, our ideal business. So if you're interested, go check it out. It starts on October 22nd and goes through to December. So thank you, Penny.
Oh, you're welcome. So Dana, she's from the west coast of Canada, and I'm from central Canada, and so we have 2 Canadians. And Massachusetts, did you say, Michelle? Yeah? Okay, I forget anyway. You know what? Before we get into it, I just want to say we've got Michael Auger's in the house. Thank you, Michael. He says he's tuning in on his peeps, and he's and he's enjoying sipping on some Italian wine from Sicily. Said, show me more. Yes, show me more. That is going to be a phrase that you're going to think of me. Show me more. And so Jerry says hi, everyone. Robbie's here.
Hi, Michael.
Elaine Webb, she says hi, Penny. Hi, Michael. And Elaine, hi, Penny. I'm looking forward to this evening session. Romy, hello, all lovely people. Oh my goodness. Tana's watching. So, yeah, we have a full house here. Okay, so we're going to talk about love. Love and the law of attraction. Oh, my goodness. Dana has such a powerful story to share with all of us, and it's to bring us hope. It's to bring us proof. Because when we start being deliberate, when we start being deliberate in following the principles of the law of attraction, and know that every time we have a thought. Those thoughts came from our words. So when we emit that thought, it's a frequency, it's a vibration that goes out and gets returned to us, matched. So whether we're thinking that we're having a crappy day and we want to put that out there, we're going to get evidence and proof to line us up with that belief. Or if we think that, this is a great day, I'm having something, like today, I had a great day. I had a great day with my mom. We took her out to a restaurant that she loves. We took her shopping, and I posted on Facebook it was her birthday, and the response and the love from people just wishing her happy birthday. People from growing up, people I knew growing up, people that knew her from the store. We had a family business for years and years and years and years. They were saying hi, happy birthday. That raises our vibration, and when we can emit that, we're emitting love. And what do we get back? We're going to get love in return. So when we want to find a relationship, when we want to find that ideal person, number one, we have to love ourselves first. We have to be the love that we're looking for. And then we don't have to look anymore because it finds us. We'll attract it. We'll attract it. So, Dana, I know that you have such a beautiful story to share with us, and you're proof that when you do the work, when you do the when you do the deliberate attraction, that you can find the love of your life and live, as they say, happily ever after. I'm ready to hear the story.
Okay, all right. So I got divorced when I was 30. I've been married for about 6 years. And so from age 30 to 50, I didn't want to be with anyone. And I chose not to. I dated a little bit, met a few people, but definitely not a match for me at all. And then when I was approaching 50, so this is for all of you women, approaching 50 or whatever, or 60 or whatever, I decided very deliberately that I wanted to meet a life partner. I didn't want someone like my first husband, so I wasn't necessarily looking for a husband per se, but I definitely, so I made a list of and I really did use the 3-step deliberate attraction process. So the first one is identifying your desire. So I did what I didn't want and really clear on what I wanted in the relationship. So I also was reading some books by a woman called Judith Sills, S-I-L-L-S, and I picked up one of her books and it said the title was How to Stop Looking for Someone Perfect and Find Someone to Love. So I had all these, limiting beliefs going on in my mind. Well, he has to be this, 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 and if he's not that way, forget it, right? So I read that book, and for some reason, it just really, resonated with me. And so in her book, what she suggests you do, you make a list, and if anybody comes close to that list, if they phone you up or you meet them somewhere and they ask you out, or you meet them in a, years ago, bar or whatever, we didn't have the online dating like you do now, that if they met most of my criteria, I had to say yes and accept the date. So I did that, and I knew right away when I met someone whether or not they had the same values as me. And as Michael Lozier often says, it doesn't get any better, right? So if that first gut feeling that you have, and I remember a professor that I went out with, I was working at a university, and I was new, and he asked me out, and he couldn't have cared less about what I wanted. It was all about him, and I wanted someone that adored me, right? So there I am, I've made my list, and I just I did the 3-step process. I didn't talk about it if I met somebody. I'm even talking about it more of what I didn't like than what I do like, but I knew what I wanted. Certain things were non-negotiables for me. which I won't get into those, but I think we all need to have our non-negotiables. What can you not compromise on, right? And so I did that list, and then I started thanking the universe or law of attraction for bringing me anybody that was asking me out, and if it didn't work out, that was fine. So one night I was out with a client on a boat cruise in Vancouver Harbor here. It was with Board of Trade, and I was talking to my client, who was a woman, and I was just getting off the boat, and this man approached me, and he gave me his card, because it was a networking event, and he gave me his card, and he said, you know, I'm Terry, whatever, and you know, I'd be interested in connecting. You know, that's kind of what you hear when you're networking, and honestly, he's not watching anyway, so you know, I didn't pay any attention to it, because you know what? He wasn't physically kind of, you know, this GQ guy that I had in mind, which who knows what that is anyway, right?
Right.
Ladies, you'll learn soon enough that, you know, you got to look at the whole package. Anyway, you know, he was attractive. He was a businessman. I like that. So anyway, I had not thought about it, went home, whatever. 9 o'clock the next morning in my office. Hello. Hi, Dana. This is Terry. We met last night. And he was so polite. He said to me, he said, I'd like to get to know you more if you'd like to get to know me. So I like that, right? And he said, would you be comfortable with a coffee or lunch or dinner? And of course, I didn't want to go out to dinner. So I said, well, how about lunch? So we did lunch, and then we did more lunches.
Okay.
And I met his family. He has 2 children, teenagers at the time. And that was, my list was, I just didn't want any babies or really young children. I didn't mind, you know, I was 50. I didn't mind if he had teenagers. That's another story, but we won't go into that one. So anyway, it was about, you know, a short time after that, I didn't date anybody else, and we created a relationship. And then, because I wanted to be really sure, because this is my second marriage, we chose not to live together, but we saw each other. And then we decided, he did ask me to marry him, and I said yes. So we got married 2 years after we met, and now we've been married for 15 years. So, and very, very happily, very happily. And yeah, and the second marriage, we were talking about this, Penny, that it's quite different from your first marriage, because when you're younger, you've got a whole different agenda. And as I said, I wanted a companion and someone who would adore me and had the same values as me, and who I would adore as well. And so that's my story, ladies. So at 50, you know, and I also became a solopreneur at 50, so any women listening and saying they can't start a business at 50, that's wrong. That's a limiting belief.
Yes.
And
yes.
Yeah, and you know, if I was 60 and wanted to find, as I said, a companion, I know I could do that, you know, or for anybody that's that age, because it is, you know, getting clear on what you want, where there's non-negotiables, and, you know, and celebrating that closeness of the match. Forget about, you know, not talking about anything that's negative, just focus on what was good, and then move on to the next person. Because I love that when Michael says, if the date wasn't good the first night, chances are it's not going to get any better, right? Because, you know, women do that, right, Penny? We try and make it work and say, oh, no, that's okay. You know, he has a drink with the boys. You know, Friday night, that's okay, right, Penny?
Oh, yeah, it was okay.
Yeah. Anyway, that's my story.
Yeah, it was okay for maybe the first couple of months, and after that, then when you're married 20 years, it's like, no, it's not okay. But yeah. And I love what you said, Dana, about it not being, it wasn't the outer package that really was your ideal, but when you got to know the person and found out his values, because you know, if you start doing your list and I'm looking for someone tall, dark, and handsome. Yeah. Okay, but then what? Well, what do you mean? What else do you want? Because you can have a tall, dark, and handsome that's always on the couch or out with the boys, or, you know, like, what do you want? When you start getting clear on what your values are and how do you want this person to treat you, and go beyond the date, go beyond. So, you know, I didn't go beyond. I went like from date to date, and then it was like next thing you know. So if I hadn't got clear about what it was I wanted, mind you, that's why it's so important that we can talk about this, because I was young.
Yeah.
Like I was really young when I got married. I didn't know about this. You just thought, you know, you got a boyfriend. Next thing you know, you're getting involved, and then you're married. And yeah, so it's so true about if it's not good on the first date, it doesn't get any better. Because when somebody shows you who they are the first time, believe them. Believe them.
Yeah.
Yep. So, Michelle.
Yes, Penny, I have
know
lots
you
of
have
thoughts.
some. I know. Before I get you to come out and I just would like to read a comment here, and it's from, gosh, I don't know, V Peter 36. So, happy 89th, Mom. My mom would have been 89 October 22nd. She passed last Christmas. And my birthday is Sunday, October 12th. So happy birthday. And my present is discovering law of attraction. Be deliberate. Thank you, Penny, Michael, and Judy. So, yes, this person I know has been following Michael and commenting with July. So, happy birthday to you. And yeah, so thank you for making that comment. And oh, Dana, Michael's gonna tell your husband.
he knows I tell stories about him. Yeah.
But you see, that is another important part, because when you get into a relationship, you want to be able to be who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You want to be able to still be comfortable, that you can say whatever it is to your partner, that you can say, I mean, you know, not the intimate stuff. I mean, you know, they've got to have some things private. But, you know, I had to stifle myself because I'm jokey and fun, and some husband was a little jealous about that, and so I had to really be careful, and so I was stifled. So you really have to get to know yourself, get to know what it is that you can tolerate, and what it is that's just like you said, no.
Yeah. Non-negotiable. Yeah.
Non-negotiable. Non-negotiable. And like you said, Dana, we can be so, oh, it'll be all right, because we want to nurture, and we want to like be the mother. No. We don't want to do that anymore.
No, I don't do that one. My husband cooks, I don't.
Oh, yay! Yeah. That's on my list. Okay, so Michelle, I know you have some comments and questions. So come on out and let's hear what you have to say.
So excited, actually. This is great. This is great, actually, because the first thing I did was when you were talking, Penny, I really related to what you were saying about your first marriage, because I was thinking about my first marriage. Well, it's only been one marriage, so I was thinking about my old marriage. But
you're having another one.
Yeah, I have another one coming, I guess. But when you were saying what you were saying, I was thinking back then. I kept thinking we were in a situation where we were involved. We had a home with another family member, all in one house. And I remember thinking back then we weren't going to get out together. Mm-hmm. So that's like law of attraction, right on. That was me predicting it, that we weren't going to get out together. The other thing I was thinking about was a few months ago I caught myself finally, and like I had told you guys, it's been a long time that I've been single, and I haven't dated that much, or at all, actually. And my family always asks me about that, and I haven't been open to that. But one thing I caught myself doing a couple months ago after we started our Law of Attraction with Michael series was I would see people not getting along, or in a way that I didn't, it's not something I would want to be in that type of relationship. And I would say, oh, I'd rather be single. I'd rather be single. And I caught myself one day saying it. And I remember telling my mom, you know, I have to stop saying that, because that's why I am single. Yeah. It's because I keep professing I'd rather be single. So I've been trying to make a more of an effort of when I see somebody, and I think Michael talked about seeing the proof of seeing people in a relationship. And Dan, do you think that would help? Is if I see people in a relationship that I like, and I would, that type of aspect is something I would
Absolutely,
like.
yeah.
That would be a proof of that's the type of relationship I would want, and then I'd be a little more open to having a relationship.
Exactly, because maybe, Michelle, you've got in your mind just the, you've got the old tapes are going, right, in that subconscious. This didn't work out when I was married, and this didn't work out, and this didn't work out. But when you use that three-step process, then you're a proof seeker, right? You're looking for the evidence. So find people, that are in a restaurant, that they're holding hands, they're having a glass of wine, or, you see a couple going to a movie, like wherever you see two people, whether it's young or old, your age or whatever, just feel good about that. And when you start feeling good, that's the evidence, and I'm evidence of it, right? But where you see people that are happy and in love, and gee, maybe marriage could be like that. Just because my first one wasn't, why do you want to carry that old story with you? Isn't that bag getting kind of heavy?
Yep.
Right? So it make room for new stories, right?
Right.
New love, and because your next relationship will not be like your first one, because you're too mindful now, Michelle. You're using the law of attraction. So that's where we have to be, as Penny said, it's the words, the thoughts, the feelings that give us our results. So, oh yeah, I'm always single, and blah, blah, blah. Or even I'm single and for me, well, okay, well, law of attraction, give her more, give her more, give her more, right?
Right,
If you say, well, I love, it was so great, hearing Dan's story, and, because now what's going to happen, you're going to start to see couples where you weren't seeing before. They were there, but you didn't see them. And what Penny said, like, I wasn't ready to have a relationship, when probably at least for like when I got divorced at 30, I was not in a good, not good vibes around me, right? I just wanted to be alone, and I didn't want to be with anyone. So that was at least for 10 solid years. I just, I was all career. That's all I was doing. Very successful, very independent, didn't need a man. So that's what I got. I didn't even attract any, right? So,
Yeah, we're going to probably go over a little bit. Is that okay with you, ladies? Because this is such an interesting topic, and we get talking, and I get talking. Because Michelle, I want to go back and say that you had that vibration that you weren't going to come out of that together, and I'd like to share with something that was a joke, and it was a joke, but he used to, I'm going to trade you in for two 20-year-olds. He used to say that all the time. Now, I never really believed that he was going to trade me in for two 20-year-olds. I mean, I was enough to handle already, but no, I'm only kidding. No, but what I wanted to say was I kept repeating that in my head about when I turned 40, when I turned 40, when I turned 40, when I turned 40, he was going to leave me. And you hear many women that when they're approaching 40, they don't even want to hear the number. I don't want to be 40, which that wasn't for me, but it was like when I turned 40, and so I turned 40 in December, and my husband, not because of other women, but my husband left in March of that following year. So it was like 3 months after I turned 40, I was on my own.
Wow.
And Yep, that's the law of attraction. I attracted that into my life. That vibration went out there, and see what happens with the law of attraction is it will match by actually orchestrating things behind the scenes. And that's why getting clear about the type of relationship that you want. You don't have to know how to do it. The law of attraction is going to do that for you. All you have to say is when Michelle, you're seeing a couple in there having a romantic dinner or just walking down the street hand in hand or listening to Dana's story, just say, yeah, show me more. Hey, show me more of that. I want more of that. And so the law of attraction will start matching that up. It's when we start saying, oh, I wish I had that. Like, our vibration can sabotage us when we feel that, that's never going to happen to me. Well, it can.
Yeah. And if we say it this way, I'd like some more of that.
Yeah.
Right, Michelle? Like,
Right.
that's a juicy couple there. You know, I'd like
Right.
a little more of that. That's different than saying, I want that.
Yeah.
I want that. You know,
Yeah.
I'll never get it.
I don't
want
have
it.
that. Right.
Yeah, you're right. You won't, because that's in your vibrational bubble and you're not going to get it. But if you go, yeah, yum, liking that guy over there, and look at how sweet he is. He's got those roses for her. Oh, wow, look at that. He's opening the door for her. You know, it's the things that matter to you that make you feel good. Like, that's when you say, yeah, bring it on, right?
Right. And I think some people may misunderstand. It's not that you're saying you want that particular guy.
No.
No.
Not you're attached to
It's that
somebody.
you want
Yeah.
those type of characteristics in the relationship. That,
Yeah.
and it's okay. It's okay to say, "Wow, I really admire how he talks to his wife. I
Yes.
really admire how." And the other thing that I like, Dana, about having the contrast. I've done contrast with other people, not for me. I didn't do it for me, but I did it with other friends of mine
Yeah.
because they were looking. But I think it's good to have it there in writing so that when you meet somebody, you're not trying to bend your characteristics that you want to be that person to make it work because you don't want to be single. Do you know what I mean? It's like nice and clear. This is what I want.
Totally the wrong vibration you're going to get, and it's not going to work. It's not going to work long term.
Right. Right.
No. And even the word single, like you said, you know, single, do you really want to meet single guys or girls if you're looking for a relationship? Because single, so it's all of the words and what it means to you, and available. You're wanting to meet someone that's available, that's going to match that your vibration, and and getting clear. Like, the clearer you can get without being attached to that. Like Dana said, when something matches, celebrate that. I mean, I've had people, it's like, oh yeah, you're a close match. And it's like, yeah, you're a close match, and celebrate that. And I'm going to read a few comments here because this is great. Judy Gary, she says, I want more of that. And she says, I want more of that. Hey, Cindy, you hear that? So she also says, love the discussion. You ladies are beautiful. Michael Loge, he says, great job, Dana and Michelle. You ladies are professional. Big capital letters, Hangout guests. Yes, they are. And I'm so honored to have you here. He also said he had a partner who did not like to receive gifts or compliments. Really? Oh my goodness. One of my fulfillment needs is specialness. So I kind of like getting gifts and compliments. And see, I get my flowers. I buy them myself, but I look forward to the day that I'm going to have a surprise. I'm going to have flowers. Just, I know it's coming. So, oh, and then something, he says, busted. Great job, Penny. Oh, thank you, Michael. He's so proud of me. Oh, thank you, Michael.
So, Penny, I want to just let the viewers know about one of the books that I guess a couple years ago I got out, because, a relationship is work. I mean, I'm saying I have a great relationship, I do, but it's not without its learning moments.
Of course.
But one of the books that I read, because I'm always reading stuff, is called The 5 Love Languages.
Yep, I have it.
Yeah, and just talking about, receiving gifts and that. So you want to find out what your partner's love language is. And when I had Terry do it, he's very good like that. Like, I have to do it first, and then, he says I kind of talked him into it. But so my list, like, there's 5 love languages of what we need, right? So my top one was his bottom one, and his top one was my bottom one. So it was very interesting. And one of mine is that that person is very present and available to me. And you talked about that. And when people are emotionally unavailable, because I had a father like that, for different reasons, but he, spending quality time with him was so few and far between, but so precious. So that's one of my top love languages, is spending quality time with me. Like, when we're together, I do not want to see this, right? I don't want to see. And that's another thing too, Michelle. If you notice somebody in a restaurant And, you know, I saw a woman doing this, and her husband sitting there, they're whining and dining, this really nice restaurant in New York City, and then she gets on the phone. I just thought, well, and I thought, you know what? That's not going to last, right? Because there was no match going on there whatsoever. So it's just, you know, it's a good book if you're interested in, you know, knowing more about your partner as well. It's even might be even a fun one to do before you even go any further. So,
Well, they actually have the 5 love languages for singles too, Dana.
oh, do they? Okay.
Yes, we've done a study. I did a study with some
nice,
singles on it.
But it's like what Penny said, right? You got to love yourself first, and that's what I was working on, was getting back to even liking myself, right?
Yeah.
Because I got in a very bad headspace, and I didn't attract anybody. And I'm glad I didn't, because it would have been disastrous, right?
You know, and there's a lot of attraction. Eavesdrops. Is that the word? On us all the time. Going back to books, I'm also going to mention Michael Logier's Law of Connection. That's a really good book for the learning styles and stuff of
very important.
Your partner.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good to know that too. But even joking, see, I've told many of my friends and coaching clients actually that law of attraction doesn't take a joke, right? So this is a fun story that one time, I guess it was a couple years after I'd been separated. I hadn't been divorced yet, but I'd been on my own, and a couple of my friends and I were going out for the weekend, and on the way there we started having fun, just randomly, like just joking and saying things. I'm like, oh yeah, you know what, I'm going to meet somebody within 5 hours, and we're going to like date, we're going to have fun, and he's going to be handsome, and all this stuff, and we're just joking around, and we had about a 2-hour drive, I guess, to where we were going. And I tell you, 5 hours later, I had met this guy, and he wanted to take me to dinner the next night, and I'm like, well, no, I'm here with my friends. Now, you know, the law of attraction just matched me up exactly with what I said, and all of a sudden, I had to put the brakes on because I wait a minute. But I said, oh, I'm here with my friends. Well, this guy was a really good guy, and he ended up taking all of us out for dinner the next night. And I
like that. I like that.
And I dated him for about 1.5 years, I guess. And so, so the law of attraction, right? When you're in alignment, it can happen fast. So that's my point there. It's like, oh, sorry, my phone. There, see how fast it can happen. Anyway, ladies, I'll come back for your final word in a moment. We should get this wrapped up. You've been watching the Hangout with Penny show. It's a lot of fun. We're just talking that love can just, it can show up at any time. So it's all about being prepared. You want to be prepared. You want to know who you are. You want to know what it is that's non-negotiable. You want to know your values. You want to know more than what the outer package shows, because, you know, if you get into relationships, it can be long life happiness, or it can be 20 years of not so great. It just, right? But when you can know it in advance what it is that you want, the law of attraction will start lining you up for that. This has been episode 11. Next week, episode 12. Oh my gosh, you all know her, Judy Gary. She's the founder of High Vibe Academy, and we're going to talk. She started her own Hangout show Tuesdays at 2, and it's hangoutwithjudy.com. And we're going to talk about how depression and anxiety can affect your relationship. Because many times we may not even realize that we're depressed, and yet our partners can see that, and then everything that goes around in that mingle. So it's going to be a really great show. So if you know anybody that's suffering depression, or they have panic attacks or whatever, Judy is going to. She is an expert. She's lived it. She's overcome it, and she really knows her stuff when it comes to that. So episode 12, Judy Gary, and so, Michelle, final words?
I actually have a quote that I found, and I wanted to send it out to you guys. It's from Bill Cosby, and it says, "Decide that you want it more than you're afraid of it." And it kind of hit me. So, yep, decide that you want it more than you are afraid of it. Bill Cosby.
Yeah, I want it.
Well, you made the decision,
Yeah,
right?
decide.
I've decided. Yeah. Own that, Penny.
Dana?
Yeah, I just want, for the record, for everybody to know that's listening, that my second husband, Terry, is the love of my life. He has become more handsome every day that we've been together, and he's such a caring, loving human being that I feel very blessed and honored that I have attracted him in my life. And yeah, so that's for the record there for everybody. But yeah, and it takes work, of course it does, but it's all about that communicating. And Penny, like talking about your long-term relationship, why, Michael always talks about this, would you if something tasted bad in your mouth, how long would you leave it in your mouth, right? And yet things like a relationship, as human beings, we're very complex to, allow not to have the love in our life. And if it's not like good for you, I say I applaud women that do separate or get divorces, or men.
Yep.
If it's not working, you're at least deciding that you value yourself that much that you can do better, and maybe it's better being, on your own for that time being, and until you get back to that place of self-love, and yeah, where that love can flow. Because if you're not loving yourself, you're going to get the match, right? And it's not going to be very nice. Yeah.
Not at all. Thank you so much, ladies. This has been just, I just love being able to share and have experts come on. And what makes us experts is because we've lived it. We live it. So we can't tell you anything that we don't already know. I mean, when we learn something, we teach it. And I think it's important that we have this platform that we can come together to help others, to know that, yeah, Dana's here to let you know that there's help. Michelle's here to let you know, yeah, you know what, I'm figuring it out. And I'm here to just say, show me more. I'm here to say, show me more, because anything can happen. Anything can happen. That conversation could happen at any moment.
That's
so,
right.
Yeah, so just keep it the way you want it. Keep it the way you want it. And if you don't like it, like Dana said, get rid of it. If it doesn't smell good, doesn't taste good, then get rid of it. It's time to... Anyway, this wraps up the Hangout with Penny show. We are Friday nights at 8 p.m. Just go to my website at hangoutwithpenny.com. I'll send you the links in advance, and also the recordings. And so this has been a lot of fun. Thank you very much, ladies. I'm blessed
Thank
that you're
you, Penny.
here.
See you, Michelle.
Thank you for everybody that's left comments. And I'm going to just end the show by saying cheers to my mom.
Yeah, cheers to your mom. Yeah, for sure.
She's the reason I'm here. So
That's right.
happy birthday, Mom. And